Only 3 GMC engines reach 300,000 miles, and the Forever Loophole is one missing system: zero active fuel management, zero cylinder deactivation, zero lifter cycling. That single difference separates engines that die at 80,000 with a $5,500 repair from engines that pass 300,000 on oil changes and a timing chain. Number 1 has been documented past 300,000 on original internals. 3 engines, 1 loophole. Here's the forever list. Before we get to the 3 engines that make the list, you need to understand why the rest don't. Every GM V8 built after 2005 has active fuel management, AFM. From 2019 forward, GM expanded it to dynamic fuel management, DFM, which cycles through 17 different cylinder deactivation patterns. The hydraulic lifters that make these systems work lock and unlock hundreds of times per hour. Every transition stresses the locking pin, the lifter body, and the camshaft lobe. Between 40 and 80,000 miles, lifters wear, stick, and collapse. Collapsed lifter destroys the cam lobe, sends metal through the oil system, contaminates every bearing in the engine. $3,000 to $5,500 to repair on a 5.3. On Gen 5 DFM trucks, closer to $6,000. That's the first killer. The second, direct injection. Starting in 2014, GM switched to direct injection on the Gen 5, 5.3, and 6.2. Fuel never touches the intake valves. Carbon deposits build up with zero natural cleaning. By 100,000 miles, airflow into the cylinders is physically restricted. Performance drops. Misfires develop. $500 to $800 for walnut blasting every 50 to 75,000 miles. A maintenance bill that didn't exist before 2014. The third, wrong oil. Non-Dexos oil without the correct additive package starves AFM lifters of the consistent hydraulic pressure they need. Incorrect viscosity compounds the problem. Every quick lube shop running bulk generic oil through a GM V8 with AFM is loading a gun. AFM direct injection. Wrong oil. Those 3 factors are why modern GM V8 engines have a well-documented pattern of catastrophic failure before 100,000 miles. The 3 engines on the forever list avoid all of them by design, not by modification, not by aftermarket parts, by the way they were built from the factory. Here's the list. Engine number 3, the 4.8-liter LR 4 Vortec, 1999 through 2013. The engine nobody talks about, the engine nobody brags about at the truck meet, and quietly, the most understressed V8 in the entire LS family. Gen 3 LS architecture, cast iron block, aluminum cathedral port heads, port fuel injection, 270 to 295 horsepower depending on model year, 285 to 295 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers don't impress anyone. That's the point. The LR4 shares the same 96mm bore as the 5.3, but runs a shorter 83mm stroke. Shorter stroke means the pistons travel less distance per revolution. Less piston travel means less stress on the connecting rod bearings with every combustion cycle. Less rod bearing stress means the bottom end of this engine is loafing through its entire operational life. Even at wide open throttle, the rotating assembly is operating well below its design limits. Here's the critical detail. The 4.8 was never, on any model year, on any platform, equipped with active fuel management. Not on the GMT 800, not on the GMT 900, not on any truck from 1999 through 2013. Every cylinder fires every combustion cycle for the life of the engine. Zero lifter cycling, zero locking pin wear, zero cam lobe degradation from deactivation stress. Port fuel injection means gasoline washes over the intake valves with every combustion cycle. Zero carbon buildup, zero walnut blasting bills, zero CRC cleaning routines. The fuel does the cleaning for free, automatically, forever. The 4.8 was offered in base trim GMC trucks, work truck, SL and SLE packages. Because it was the lesser engine, trucks equipped with it sell for less on the used market than equivalent 5.3 trucks. You pay less for a truck with an engine that has fewer failure modes and lower internal stress than the more popular option. Paired with the 4L60E on the GMT 800 and either the 4L60E or 6L80 on the GMT 900, both proven transmissions with decades of rebuild data and parts availability. The 4.8 is the quiet overachiever of the LS family. Less power, less stress, less complexity, less money, and zero AFM on any model year ever produced. It won't win a drag race. It will still be running when the trucks that beat it are in the junkyard waiting on lifter jobs. The engine nobody wants is the engine that outlasts everything. But if you need more torque, especially for towing, the next engine on the Forever list has it, and its block is the most durable casting GM has ever put in a truck. Engine number 2, the 6.0-liter LQ4 and LQ9 Vortec, 1999 through 2007. If the 4.8 is the quiet overachiever, the 6.0 is the sledgehammer that refuses to break. Two variants, the LQ4, 300 to 335 horsepower, 360 to 380 pound-feet of torque, flat-top pistons. The LQ9, badged Vortec Max on the Denali, 345 horsepower, 380 pound-feet, with forged crankshaft and hyper-eutectic pistons. The LQ9 with its forged rotating assembly is considered the most mechanically durable engine GM has ever installed in a production truck. Both share a cast iron block, the same fundamental architecture as the 4.8 and 5.3, but with a larger 101.6 millimeter bore. That iron block is the heaviest in the LS family. It's also the strongest. Cast iron absorbs and dissipates heat more evenly than aluminum. It resists warping under extreme thermal cycling, the kind of thermal cycling that happens when you tow a 10,000-pound trailer up a mountain grade in July. Zero AFM on any LQ4 or LQ9. These are Gen 3 engines, built before active fuel management existed. All cylinders fire all the time. Port fuel injection cleans the valves automatically. The failure modes that define modern GMV8 ownership simply don't apply to this engine. The LQ4 and LQ9 were paired with the 4L80E heavy-duty transmission in most truck applications, a transmission so overbuilt for its application that rebuilds are straightforward and parts are essentially infinite. Independent shops rebuild 4L80Es in their sleep. Where the 6.0H earns its spot on the Forever list is under load. This engine was designed for the GMC 2500 and Yukon XL. It was designed to tow. The iron block handles sustained high-load thermal stress that would challenge lighter engines over hundreds of thousands of miles. The additional torque means the engine operates at a lower percentage of its total capacity during normal driving and moderate towing, which translates directly to reduced wear per mile. Fuel economy is the trade-off. The 6.0H drinks more than the 5.3. Expect 13 to 15 miles per gallon in mixed driving. For an owner who tows regularly or uses the truck as a work vehicle, the fuel cost difference is irrelevant against the engine's ability to absorb punishment mile after mile. Rebuild cost if you ever need it. The 6.0 shares bore spacing and architecture with every other LS engine. Any machine shop that works on LS motors works on the 6.0. Parts availability is unlimited. A complete rebuild runs $1,500 to $2,500. A used LQ4 long block from a salvage yard runs $800 to $1,500. The 6.0H LQ4 and LQ9 are the most mechanically durable engines GM has ever put in a truck. Iron block, 0 AFM, port injection, forged crank on the LQ9, and a design purpose built for sustained heavy loads. If you tow and you want 300,000 miles, this is the engine. Nothing GM builds today matches it for raw durability under load. And now, number 1 on the Forever list, the engine that more GMC owners have taken past 300,000 miles than any other, the one that started it all. If you're getting value from this, hit subscribe and like. Takes 2 seconds. Helps more GMC owners find the Forever list. Now, number 1. Engine number 1. The 5.3-liter LM7 Vortec, 1999 through 2007. The most produced, most documented, and most proven engine in GMC truck history. And the number 1 engine on the Forever list for one reason. More of these have crossed 300,000 miles on original internals than any other GM V8 ever built. Cast iron block, aluminum cathedral port heads, port fuel injection, 270 to 295 horsepower, 315 to 335 pound-feet of torque. Numbers that sit perfectly in the sweet spot for a half-ton truck. Enough power to tow, haul, merge, and pass without ever operating near the engine's mechanical limits during normal use. The LM7 is LS architecture, the same fundamental engine family that powers the Corvette LS1 and LS6. Same bore spacing, same block design philosophy, same head bolt pattern. The performance aftermarket for LS engines is the largest in automotive history. Any machine shop in North America can work on this engine. Parts are not just available, they're everywhere. A complete LM7 long block from a salvage yard runs $2,000 to $3,000. Individual components are priced in single digits and double digits. Zero active fuel management. The LM7 was built from 1999 through 2007, entirely within the Gen 3 era before AFM was introduced in 2005 on select applications. Every cylinder fires every combustion cycle. No hydraulic lifter cycling, no locking pins, no cam lobe stress from deactivation events. The failure mode that costs modern GMC owners $3,000 to $5,500 does not exist in this engine. Port fuel injection keeps the intake valves clean automatically. No carbon buildup, no walnut blasting, no maintenance schedule for a problem the engine doesn't have. The iron block handles thermal stress with the same resilience as the 4.8 and 6.0. Consistent heat absorption and dissipation across hundreds of thousands of heat cycles without warping or distortion. What makes the LM7 number one over the 4.8 and the 6.0H isn't just the engineering, it's the data. This engine was installed in more GMC trucks than any other V8 in the company's history. Millions of units, hundreds of millions of documented miles. The sample size is massive, and the results are consistent. Owner after owner reports these engines crossing 200,000, 250,000, 300,000 miles on nothing more than regular oil changes and a timing chain replacement around 200,000 miles. One owner on a GMC forum summed it up. You could throw the engine in the Atlantic Ocean, fish it out 30 years later, fill the tank with peanut butter, and it would start right up. That truck was rated 4.6 out of 5 stars with a 94% owner recommendation rate on KBB. The Engine Builders Association data supports the anecdotal evidence. LS-based engines show a failure rate around 2% compared to the 5 to 7% industry average. The LM7 sits at the center of that dataset as the highest volume LS engine in truck applications. Here's what kills an LM7 before 300,000 miles. Neglect. Skipped oil changes, wrong viscosity, ignored coolant flushes, running the timing chain past its service life until it stretches enough to jump a tooth and bend valves. That's it. Maintain the basics, and the LM7 does the rest. There is no ticking time bomb inside this engine. No system designed to fail on a schedule. No cylinder deactivation hardware wearing itself out with every mile. Just a cast iron block, aluminum heads, port injection, and a rotating assembly that was over-engineered for its application from day one. A used GMC truck with an LM753, $6,000 to $12,000 on the private market in 2026. The average transaction price for a new GMC truck, $65,000 to $233. The new truck has DFM with 17-cylinder patterns, direct injection carbon buildup, VIN-locked modules, and a recall covering 600,000 vehicles for defective connecting rods. The $12,000 truck has a proven engine, port injection, no module locks, and a 300,000-mile track record. The 5.3 LM7 is the most proven, most documented, most reliable V8 engine GMC has ever installed in a truck. 300,000 miles on original internals with basic maintenance. Zero AFM. Zero direct injection, zero VIN locked anything. The Forever engine, number one on this list, number one on any list. One more thing before we wrap up. If you're driving a 2007 through 2013 GMC truck with the Gen 4 5.3, the LMG or LC9, your engine has AFM. It came from the factory with cylinder deactivation. That means it didn't make the Forever list as built. But here's the loophole within the loophole. The Gen 4 5.3 is the same fundamental architecture as the LM7. Cast iron block, aluminum heads, port fuel injection. The only meaningful difference is the addition of AFM hardware, the lifters that cycle between 8 and 4 cylinders. Remove that variable and you have functionally the same engine as the LM7. 3 steps. Range technology, AFM disabler, $240 to $270. Plugs into the OBD 2-port, 30 seconds. Keeps all 8 cylinders firing at all times. Eliminates lifter cycling completely. Dexos Gen 3 certified oil in the correct viscosity. 5W30 for Gen 4. Every oil change, no exceptions. $8 more per change than generic oil. Oil catch can. Mishimoto at 150 to 200, UPR at 180 to 260, or billet technology at 200 to 300. Intercepts PCV blow-by before it reaches the intake. Keeps the intake track clean, even though port injection is already doing most of the work. Total investment, roughly $500 to $700. For that, you've converted a Gen 453 into a functional equivalent of the LM7 from a longevity standpoint. All 8 cylinders firing, clean oil, clean intake. The 300,000-mile clock starts now. You don't have to buy a pre-2007 truck to get a Forever engine. A Gen 453 with the AFM disabled, correct oil, and a catch can is the modern path to 300,000 miles for under $700 in total modifications. 3 engines, 1 loophole. Has 0 active fuel management. The 48 LR4, the quiet overachiever that nobody wants and everybody should. The 60H LQ4 and LQ9, the most mechanically durable V8 GM ever put in a truck. And the 53 LM7, the most proven 300,000-mile engine in GMC history, documented past 300,000 on oil changes and a timing chain. The Forever Loophole connects all 3. 0-cylinder deactivation, port fuel injection, and iron blocks built before GM started engineering failure modes into every engine. Go watch our video on why smart Americans are buying pre-2014 GMC trucks, and the one on how smart mechanics are bypassing dealers with the AFM delete loophole. Both build on everything you just learned. See you in the next one.